Welcome to London around the year 1700. Using historical maps, engravings, and AI reconstruction, we step back into a city emerging from disaster and growing into a global center of trade. Smoke rises above crowded rooftops, ships fill the Thames, and life moves through narrow streets that no longer exist. For the people living here, this was not history, it was simply home. The Thames moves slowly beneath the arches of Old London Bridge. The bridge is crowded with houses, shops, hanging signs, and endless movement. Wagons and pedestrians pass between narrow rows of buildings. The river appears only in fragments between the walls. Below the bridge, the current becomes dangerous. Small boats move carefully through the fast water beneath the arches. For the people crossing it every day, the bridge feels permanent. Families live above the roadway and spend entire lives moving between the northern and southern banks. From the bridge, hundreds of ship masts rise above the river while smoke hangs over the city roofs. At the river wharves, workers unload barrels and cargo beside crowded warehouses. Billingsgate Wharf. The tide rises and falls against stone steps covered with rope and broken timber. Porters carry goods across wet planks while the sound of creaking ships fills the air. The river remains part of daily life.
We need these barrels unloaded.
Watermen carry passengers across the Thames. Sailors sleep in taverns beside the docks. Merchants live close to the waterfront. Many believe the shoreline will never truly change. Farther west, the rebuilt cathedral dominates the skyline. St. Paul's Cathedral. Its enormous dome appears through smoke and fog long before the rest of the building becomes visible. Pale stone stands above the older streets surrounding it. Booksellers arrange printed pages outside in the churchyard. Apprentices move between workshops carrying paper and tools. Inside the cathedral, footsteps echo beneath the vast ceiling. For most Londoners, the building is already becoming an ordinary part of the city. Nearby, conversation fills the coffee houses. Exchange Alley. Merchants discuss ships and trade routes while clerks copy numbers into ledgers beside candlelight. Newspapers and pamphlets pass from hand to hand across small wooden tables. Outside, the alleys remain narrow and wet. Signs move slowly in the wind. Rainwater drips from the roofs into the street below. To the people inside, these coffee houses are ordinary places, not future historical landmarks. As evening approaches, the streets darken quickly. Along Fleet Street, lantern light reflects across wet stone after rain. Fleet Street. Printers continue working behind shutters while messengers hurry through the mud carrying papers beneath their coats. Coaches move slowly through crowded sections of the road. The air smells of ink, smoke, horses, and damp wool. Beneath many brick facades still stand older medieval walls. At night, footsteps echo through the narrow lanes while watchmen move beneath the lanterns. South of the Thames, another London begins, Southwark. The streets here feel rougher and louder. Timber buildings lean above uneven roads. Taverns and inns remain crowded with travelers arriving from distant counties. Near the river, ship repairs continue by torchlight. Reflections move across the dark water beneath the docks. Farther east, ships from many countries stand beside the riverbank. Wapping. Masts form a dense forest above the Thames. Workers carry cargo between warehouses and small boats. The air smells of tar, salt water, and wet wood. Different languages can be heard in the streets. Sailors search for food, work, or lodging before returning to sea. Beyond the crowded docks, quieter districts begin to appear. In the West End, new houses face open gardens behind iron railings. St. James's Square. Servants sweep the steps early in the morning while carriages move slowly into the square. Compared with the eastern districts, the streets here appear wider and calmer. Yet even here, mud covers the roads after rain, and candles remain the primary source of light after sunset. Nearby stands the royal residence, St. James's Palace. The red brick walls of the palace rise beside roads used by soldiers, servants, nobles, and travelers. Messengers arrive on horseback carrying sealed letters. Tailors and craftsmen work in nearby streets serving the royal household. To the people standing outside its gates, the palace seems stable and permanent. Toward the northern edge of London, open ground still survives. Moorfields. People walk here for air and quiet, away from the crowded river districts. Children run beside pathways while church towers remain visible above distant smoke. The city continues expanding, but its boundaries still feel close. In the markets, women bargain for vegetables, cloth, candles, and fish. Cheapside. Street sellers shout prices from temporary stalls while apprentices carry baskets through the crowd. Dogs search beneath tables for scraps. Many families live directly above their shops and workshops. Water must be carried by hand into buildings. After rain, mud slowly drains toward the gutters. Yet ordinary life continues with familiar routine. Bakers begin work before sunrise. Blacksmiths open their workshops early. Boatmen wait beside the river stairs for passengers. Few people spend time thinking about the distant future. Early in the morning, narrow lanes remain almost empty. Pudding Lane. Footsteps echo between damp brick walls while smoke rises slowly from chimneys. Cats move past closed shutters and stacked barrels. Some older residents still remember the Great Fire that began here decades earlier. But for younger generations, these streets already feel ordinary again. As darkness settles across the Thames, London continues moving, the Thames waterfront. Lights appear in upper windows. Boats drift slowly through the water. The dome of St. Paul's gradually disappears into evening fog. Somewhere beyond view, newspapers are still being printed. Ships continue unloading at the docks. Taverns remain crowded late into the night. And yet from a distance, the city appears almost still. The people living here could not know how completely London would change. They could not imagine future railways, modern bridges, or towers rising above the river. And yet traces of this older London remain. Some streets still follow the same paths they did centuries ago. St. Paul's Cathedral still rises above the city. The Thames continues moving through London just as it did then. Other places survive only in engravings, paintings, maps, and written descriptions. Old London Bridge disappeared long ago. Entire waterfront districts were rebuilt many times, but beneath the modern city, fragments of the older world still remain. Using AI reconstruction, forgotten images briefly return to movement again. Smoke drifts above the rooftops. Water reflects light beneath vanished bridges. The city becomes inhabited once more for a moment, not as spectacle, only as presence. A woman carrying bread through Cheapside, a printer closing shutters along Fleet Street after dark, a boat moving slowly beneath the arches of Old London Bridge. For the people who lived here, these moments were ordinary. London simply surrounded them with work, weather, routine, and movement. And in some quiet way, it still does. The streets changed, the buildings changed, the shoreline changed. But somewhere beneath the modern city, the older London still remains. As fog settles once more above the Thames, the city slowly fades back into silence, not vanished, only farther away.